All right, everybody, welcome to the Formula 84. This is Jason Levancher from realtourvision.com, and I'm very excited about tonight's episode of the Formula because we've been here before. We have done these staging shows, and they seem to draw a very big crowd. Tonight we've got almost 300 people registered for the show for virtual staging with Tom. And over the course of the year, these shows get about 6,000 to 7,000 visitors that want to check out virtual staging. So I am watching everybody come in here. While they're coming in, I'd like to say hello to our guest tonight, Tom. Welcome aboard the Formula Show. And how are we sounding this evening?
Sounds really good, and thank you for having me here.
Yeah, you're very welcome, and you sound loud and clear. We are recording tonight's event, so if anybody misses or drops out, yes, we are recording. We still got a lot of people coming in, so I'll just digress for a moment here. Real Tour Vision, you got here because we are a virtual tour software company, perfect for anyone that does real estate photography, really. My wife and I actually started a small company back in 2007, Blue Lava Media. You're more than welcome to check that out. It is a full service property marketing company. We offer photography, virtual tours, aerial drone photos, virtual staging, and we put everything through the RTV virtual tour player, right? Good old RTV lets you upload full motion video streamed in 1080. In fact, we just went live with our new 1080. I don't know, Tom, have you checked out some of the new video playback? This is all full motion video here.
Yeah, I checked it out. It's great.
Yeah, it really is. We've got a nice little playhead here, so you can skip ahead to different spots. It's really neat. So we were streaming at 720 before, and the new 1080 is amazing. So some good stuff. We're constantly updating at the Real Tour Vision. So if you get an account, you can actually log in and check out our steady stream of updates through the latest changes log. And one of the cool things you'll see at RTV is we're constantly innovating. So this is January 2019. We went HTTPS secure. We haven't actually announced our streaming yet, but every month we are announcing virtual tour manager updates and player updates. So a lot of cool stuff back here. And well, Tom, we've got a lot of people that are on now. We are well over 157 now and going. So I'm gonna kind of turn it over to you, let you talk a little bit about your history and where how you got affiliated. You started with RTV about a year or so ago, and I'm gonna go ahead and pass the screen over to you here now, and you can Tom will be our presenter this evening.
All right. So yeah, I started off with learning from, as a drone pilot, learning from Alan Perlman over at Drone Pilot Ground School. And in all those lessons, I ended up coming across a video with Jason talking to Alan about real estate photography. And I thought it was a really interesting way to add on to services that I was offering. So I went and bought a camera and started taking real estate photos, and including that with my drone photos and videos, and then using the Real Tour Vision virtual tour software, using that with every single listing that I get. And from there, I found out about the virtual staging software, and I'm always about adding more and more services, to gain more revenue. And the virtual staging software was like, the furniture looks amazing. It's very simple to use, and all my clients are really happy with it so far. So I started using that, and then when the position opened up for RTV to have a full service stager, I contacted Jason, and the Real Tour Vision team voted, and they said that I can have the position. And I love virtual staging, and I've dealt with a lot of people over the past couple of years. So what we'll do tonight is we're going to go over a full tutorial of how to set up an account to staging a full room, and we'll start off with how to the two different things you can do. I'll just do a quick little thing right here. So if you're on the RTV website, you can go to products and services, and then virtual home staging. From here, you can choose the option to do it yourself, or you can also go to my website. I'm going to open this a separate link right now, which will bring you to here, and you can book a service right now, or if you just want to contact me, you can do that right through the contact button up at the top.
And what is your cost? So to go up, I just say you probably stepped on it there. So to do it yourself ranges, we'll get into the stager, ranges from 7 to 15 a photo, and you're doing it for, oh, it says right there, 35 a photo. Okay.
35 a photo, yep. And then, yeah, so we'll go back to the RTV website, and you can choose, click here to do it yourself. And with this, you would just type in all your information. You can start a trial account. And with the trial account, you're going to get, you're going to start off with 10 credits, and you'll be able to stage, you know, one, they call it a scene. We'll get into that in a minute. But then for RTV people, I also want to go over how to get to that. So on your main dashboard here, you'll be able to go down on the left-hand side, and you'll see it says virtual staging right here also.
I think we have it on the add-ons too in your dashboard. Go back to your dashboard. I think if you go to edit a tour, we have it. We moved it. So if you go to edit one of your tours, yeah, okay, click on that. It's off to the right there too, right at the top under additional services, right there. Yeah. So we have it in 2 spots, so you can access it. What we don't have connected yet is the ability to pull them in after you stage them, but I am working with Parag on that. So that'll be kind of cool, because a lot of people like to, after they stage a photo, they like to put it in with their photo delivery package and put it into their tours. I highly recommend checking with your MLS board, because there's a lot of scuttlebutt about whether or not you should put it in, can put it in. I don't see a problem with it as long as you say virtually staged living room, but just check with your MLS board first. So.
Yep. So what we'll do is, like, you know, once you get signed in, we'll go over how to buy credits and the pricing and all that type of stuff first. So what I'll do is I'm going to go to the support page, because this has the pricing. And just so everyone saw, there's a little question mark down on the bottom left-hand corner. You click that, and you can click support, and that'll bring you to this page right here. And then on the left-hand side, you have pricing. So for credits, the more credits you buy, the cheaper it's going to be for you. So you'll be able to get it, if you bought 1,000 credits, it's going to come down to be $7, you know, per image that you stage. And then, so, and just to cover what they mean by scene here, a scene is an image that you stage. So if you are staging one room of a living room, and then you have to, there's another angle of this living room, that's going to be another scene. So each scene is an actual image that you're staging. So that each image that you stage is going to be 10 credits. And you can change the scene. You can change, like, the furniture in the room, and that's an additional 2 credits. And then to remove the watermark, it's going to be 1 credit. But yeah, there's a whole list of different packages that you can do for buying the credits. And also want to go over furniture removal. So I have an example of what furniture removal looks like. So we have these images here. So
this is a situation where you would take a photo of, in this case, maybe a furniture that the agent would prefer be removed or wasn't there, and you want to then remove it and virtually stage it.
Yes. So there's like different pricing. I'll go over that in a second, of what they see as to be like you know, heavily furnished and lightly furnished and all that. So this is like one image that I was given that, you know, they needed to remove the bed and the nightstand and the chair, and that's the finished product. And the I think the turnaround time for this was between 12 to 36 hours. So fairly quick turnaround time, and the end result is pretty good, you know. And it's perfect for, because then you can fill it with the furniture that you need, and you can really get an idea of what the room would look like. So we'll go back here. So that, yeah, they have different pricing, and what happens is with furniture removal, you're going to start off with paying 25 credits for the photo, and then if the room, once they're actually taking the furniture away, if they see that it's not that like heavily furnished, they'll give you back actually some credits. So I think like that image that we just saw, to go from this to that, they considered that to be, I think it was lightly furnished. So I was given back 10 credits.
So they grab a security deposit essentially, then it gets sent in, it gets worked on, and you either get all of it back if it can't be done. I know that they give it all back, but based on, they determine what it is when they go in to work on it. But you put down a security deposit, so to speak, I guess is the best way to think about that, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep. Yeah, and if they and they said that if it is like fully furnished there and they can't do anything with it, you'll get that money back too.
Right.
And then the other thing I want to touch upon right before we get into the staging an actual photo is flares. Flares are a great way for you to be able to work with the client on, staging an image. So what you could do is send a catalog of the furniture to a client of yours and have them choose the furniture that they want to put into an image, and then you can stage the room and then like show them the end result. It's good for if there's like a certain type of person that like they like specifically want certain type of furnitures and fixtures and plants and all that into a room. If they're really particular on that, then you can do that. You do a flare with them, and all you have to do is buy at least 25 credits in the past, and then the flare is free. So if you already bought 25 credits, then you're in the clear with that, and then you could just send it will send as an email to them. They can choose the furniture that they want, and then it will get sent back to you. You stage it, and then you can download the image, and you're all done.
To me, that seems like one of the most underused or underutilized features of the stager. I just got to believe, based on what Parag says and even what you've said, it does not get a whole lot of traction. We've done it once at Blue Lava Media. The customer really loved it. And, the downside was that you wait a little bit longer for them to figure it out and get back to you. In this line of work, a lot of us just want to say, take my word for it, this is the best you're going to get, kind of thing. And maybe that's why it doesn't get a lot of use. You open up Pandora's box and it may take 5 days to get that back.
Yeah, exactly. Like it's almost like I've only used it I think one time also in all the ones that I've done, and I think it was only like this person, I just knew that they were going to be very particular in like what they wanted in the room. So it worked out great for that. But most of the time, people that send me the images are just like, you're the professional, you do your job, I trust you, and then no complaints.
That's right.
Anything, So
that's right. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. And in our situation, it was a real picky home seller. And so it worked out great because we actually got the staging work because we said we could do that, and the agent loved it. So, but I do think that it's underused. I think that if more people mentioned that, it would get used more.
Yeah, exactly. And then so the next thing I want to go into is how to take the photo, because I feel like this is a question I get asked a lot. And you want to make sure that you're at like around 4 feet 6 inches to 5.5 inches, or 5 feet 6 inches off the ground, and you don't really want to tilt the camera. I usually like to keep it like level, but you can tilt the camera downward a little bit, not too much. But the software will correct the distortion of the walls and all that. So that's like what you want to do, and you want to make sure that you're showing at least 2 perpendicular walls. With some of the ceiling and the floor also. So for example, I'm going to show you guys an empty room that we will be staging tonight. It's going to be this one. So
wow.
You can see how you have these 2 walls right here that show a decent amount. You got a little bit of the ceiling and a lot of the floor. This was like a perfect photo for staging, you know. So that is like usually how you're going to want to take a photo. You don't want to take, for example,
yeah, I was just going to say, show us some that, oh my gosh. Oh my gosh.
You don't want to send me this.
Wow. Wow. I don't even know what to say about that. That's crazy. So you want to kind of hit right. What I'm hearing is you want to shoot into a corner.
Yes, exactly. You want to shoot into a corner where you have the two walls, you know, connecting. You know, these are not good photos right here. And yeah, you want to have something like this where you have the two walls, you're showing a lot. It's, you know, got enough of the floor, enough of the ceiling and all that. Something else that I want to touch on too is image size. So you don't want to send me an image this small
Right.
or get an image this small. You want to have it at least 2,000 pixels tall. If you have it around there, like this image is 2173 by 1630.
1600 tall.
Yep. So that is like
about 2,000 tall.
Yeah, exactly. So that would be the perfect type of image to have for virtual staging. You know, it's got good quality and all that. And then let's see what else I just want to cover before we get into staging. We'll cover all that. So I think, Jason, what do you say? Should we get into actually staging an image?
Yeah, I think let's see if anybody's. I don't have any questions. I am monitoring questions to you, Tom. Rich is saying that my audio is dropping in and out. How you doing, Rich? Good to see you here on the show. Rich Bland, everybody. Been with RTV for a long time. Good to see you. The thing that I had a note on was removing. Is there a way to remove the watermark? I get a lot of questions on this. So removing the watermark on everything. Isn't there some kind of and maybe you'll get into that in a little bit, but isn't there's like something that you pay for in the pricing or private labeling?
Yeah. So
okay, right
there's actually this right here. Yeah, the white label light and white label standard. This allows you to remove the watermark for all your images and all the flares. And there's also you know, there's two different pricing. You have the one that's $10 a month to pay yearly, or $15 a month if you just want to do monthly, and the standard, which is a little bit more. I haven't signed up for these, and I don't know why yet. I really should. But
so all yours have a watermark on them, Tom?
No, I take them off when like towards like after I get paid and all that. I'll just take it off with like one or two images and all that.
I got you. So when you do a photo for somebody, it does not have our logo on it or anything, right? It's all white label.
Yeah, I'll send like an original one with the watermark on there, and then once I get paid, then I take the watermark off as kind of like a final image to them. Yeah.
Yep. Very good. Cool. Cool. Okay, that was all I had.
Yes. So we'll get into staging really quick. So this is going to be your main screen, and down in the left-hand corner, you got your settings, so you can sign your account and sign out. You got the question, which has the support page, report issues, and show tips, and then you can also buy credits right through here also. And what we'll do is, you know, I'll buy a credit. Well, actually, I have enough for an image, so that's fine. But yeah, you can, if you hit buy credit, you have the option of the drop downs right here to choose the package that you want to do. You type in your credit card info, and then you hit buy, and then all done. Very simple. So if you hit new house right here, this is going to create a new, like, I guess you could say, folder of the images for the client that you're going to be working with. I'm just going to do testing. I'll just do testing.
While you're filling this out, Lisa, and I'm probably going to mess up your name, Lisa. I apologize up front, but it's Lopke, maybe Lopke Web is asking, what do you charge for this, and do you do your own camera or hire a photographer? I would say that if you go to Real Tour Vision and need a photographer, we can put you in touch with anyone in our network. We send out about 10 to 15 referrals a day just for people looking for photographers. So we could definitely put you in touch with your local photographer or someone close to you. But yes, you could certainly try with your own camera. I would say that the next question up is what kind of camera would you use? Tom, I'm going to leave that up to you because I'm not a photographer.
So I would use, like when I was first starting out, I had a Nikon D3300 DSLR camera. I would say a minimum of something like that or comparable to that. Right now I'm using like a Sony A7 III, but I get sent, like, I would say not to use an iPhone. No, when it comes to taking these images, try to use like a high quality DSLR mirrorless camera.
Yeah.
And that would be the best thing possible. Yeah. Now I'm not going to fill out everything here because obviously this is a testing, just a tutorial, but this information, it's not completely necessary. I usually just fill out a name with most of my clients because I don't know all the specifications of the home and all that when they send me the images. But if you are going to be doing a flare, this is something nice to fill out because when you fill out the location and the specs of the home and the description and all that, that will all be sent into the flare, and it looks really nice because we'll have the information all displayed there for the client.
Cool. Yeah. So that's a good reason to fill that all out is for the flare. If everybody
yeah, exactly.
I like that. Cool.
So we'll hit save, and then uploading the photo. When you start a new folder, you're just going to get this screen right here. So you just click upload photo. We'll go to hard drive, and we're just going to choose this empty room, the one that I showed you guys earlier. It will show right there, and just hit upload. Very self-explanatory right now. All right, so we have this right here. Now, on this screen, you can upload additional photos by hitting upload photos. You can order the furniture removal, and what I'll do is I'll click on this just so you'll get this screen, and it tells you the process right here. So you're going to pay the 25 credits, and if they don't need to use all the credits, they'll refund you the other amount depending on complexity of the image. You hit continue, and then you would just click on the image and hit confirm. It's a very easy process, and then once the photo is done, like once the furniture is all removed for you, then you'll get an email saying it's complete with a link to download that image. So very easy. They made it a very simple process to get that done. For the flare, like I said, 0 credits as long as you buy 25 credits in the past. And if I click on the flare button, then you just want to choose the image that you want to send to the client that you want to have them choose the furniture for. So if we hit this image right here, we'll hit next. You'll fill out the information right here. And then there's a couple of different options for the flare. So you have a 2D collaborative, which is going to be just the 2D thumbnails of the furniture that they'll want to use. So this will have access to all the catalog and everything like that, but it's going to be just the 2D images. Then you could do the 3D interactive, which this allows them to restage the room. So after they choose the furniture, then they can also kind of stage it themselves. That might be a little risky to do with some of these people that maybe they don't use the software, and they might mess around with something and it may end up coming back a little too screwy. So I would say not to, well, not to, but like if you trust the person to be, computer savvy and all, that's a good option right there. And then there's the 3D static, which is like when the furniture can't be moved around, it's just going to be the 3D image being placed in the room. And then once you're done choosing the option, I usually do if I did do this, I did the 2D collaborative. So it's, they just choose the image. And then you can hit publish.
It's a lot less confusing. So are you able to bring up, here what that's going to look like so everybody can see? Because I would agree, we probably don't want it to be confusing. Whereas the 2D will probably be, if you want to email it to me, you can.
There you go. So with an image like this, yeah, I sent it to myself earlier in another image.
Oh, okay, perfect. So
this is
the 2D.
Yeah, so this will be the 2D one. I didn't fill out the information, but this is where the information for the house, like the specs of the home, the location, all that will be displayed right here.
Yep.
And then you hit start in the top right-hand corner. And you just exit out of that. And then you'll want to hit the plus button right here. And then this will bring up the catalog. And then this was like a kid's room, so we can choose kids right here. And we'll just choose like a bed, you know, just to put in here like that. And then you hit the plus button. And then that won't be shown in the room, but it will just be the image is like going to be saved to this file, I guess you could say, because once you're done, all of that information that they choose, like I said, if they also choose this like, you know, dresser right here, that will be all saved within the image. And then when you go back to the virtual stager, it will show. So actually what we'll do, I don't want to make it too confusing going back and forth between the different jobs and all, but if we go back to that image, it will then say one flare is available. And then we could stage our room and do that. But I'm going to go back to the other image for now, just because it has a lot of the stuff that I get asked how to do. So in this image, you'll see that there is like an empty shelf. You know, you got the fireplace right here, and you got high up walls, like where you could put paintings and all that. And that seems to be something that a lot of people have a hard time with. So we'll get into that right now. So once you upload the image, you're going to be at this screen. You can then click on the photo you want to stage, which will bring you here, and you're going to choose New Scene. Now, this is going to be the straightening of the image, and what you want to do is just try to find the parts of the photo that are going to be like, you know, vertical. So I'll usually do like a window frame, like we could do something like this right here. And you just want to drag these little handles to the straight lines of the room. And we could do this one right here. And now the one thing you want to also notice is that it's kind of hard to tell here, but when I go back and forth, you see how it kind of like magnifies the area and almost brings like a ghosting effect? Yeah, you just want to make sure that the red dot lines up directly on that line. Because like sometimes you'll notice that it gives a little bit, it goes a little bit off because it's like magnified in. But yeah, as long as you're on that line, you're good. And then you'll hit next in the upper right hand corner.
So it doesn't matter how long. I mean, it seems like, do they need to be stretched as long as possible or as high as possible, or not necessarily?
Not necessarily, as long as they're vertical.
Okay. Now, what is this?
This is how you're going to calibrate the image. So here you're going to want to go to the, you're going to want two perpendicular walls, and you want to stretch these handles to the top of the ceiling and to the floor. This is like a little bit trickier of an image because of like how it's cut off a little bit over here, but we'll make it work. So you want to line up these bottom ones with the where the floor and the wall meet, and then these top ones where the wall and the ceiling meet. And we'll do that there, and we got this one over here.
Wow.
I have to do a guessing game on that one, but
so what you did, on that top left, you're kind of looking at the line and doing a little bit of guessing. Is that right?
Yeah. Yep. So this one I might have to. So these buttons right up here, they're trying to calibrate how high the camera is off the ground. Because it's a really high image, you can sometimes bring these down. Like maybe if we only want to bring an item up to these windows, it makes it a little bit easier to kind of to make it level, because it's having a hard time guessing how high the camera is off the ground. So, and what we could do is we can also hit these plus button and minus buttons to change the camera height. So if the camera is actually like 4 feet off the ground, you can hit the plus to make it make sure that that's at the right height. Or if it's actually lower, you can hit the minus button and bring it lower. But you want to try to keep it around the 4 foot mark. So we'll go around 4.5 foot mark, I'm sorry. So we could do 4.5 foot, or we could do 4.9, which is optimal. But we'll do it at like, I guess we could do that 4.9. And then we'll do
if you've already straightened in Lightroom, you still have to do this, right? Mark Harris is asking, how's it going, Mark? Good to see you on the show. And I believe the answer is absolutely yes, because you're calibrating here so the furniture looks straight, right?
Exactly, yeah. So you'll, even though you straighten in Lightroom or Photoshop, it will still bring you through this process. And if it's already been like straightened in, Lightroom or Photoshop, it makes this process a lot easier. So because I've been given some images that are so like taken with like an iPhone, and trying to like straighten those, they become so cropped in that it just doesn't look right. So you get a better idea if you can straighten it beforehand. Then this process will be a lot better. Okay, so we'll do start staging. And then we'll ask you, it's going to cost you 10 credits to stage this room. So we'll just hit continue. And then you have the image right here. Now, if you'll see this big plus button, so we click on that. And then this is something that they just added recently. You can add from, from a flare if you have already made a flare, or you could do it from another flare from another room, or from a collection. Or what I just do is just one item at a time, just so I can stage it personally myself. So if we
now the collection is for when you kind of fall in love with a certain set of furniture, and you can put that furniture and make it into a collection so that you can, boom, like just click a button and it instantly adds a sofa and a couch and a lamp and a painting all into one room, right?
Exactly, yeah. So if there's like a bunch of furniture that you use a lot, then you can add that into there, and then yeah, it's easy, like accessible for you. Like I do a lot of because like I'm based out of New Jersey, there's a lot of like houses that are kind of like a beach theme that I do. So I'll keep like, I'll always use like this certain type of like couch or bedding and curtains and, wall art and stuff like that. So it's easy just to put in there, and then you're good to go. Now, since this is like a living room that we'll be staging, I'll usually start off with obviously like a couch or something like that. And let's see. Now there's different options. So if you click on living room, obviously you have all these options right here. And if you don't choose one of these options, this panel right here will be every single item in the living room category will be listed here. So not just couches, will be also the end tables, the coffee tables, the TV, systems and all that type of stuff. So what we'll do, this is actually the couch I'm going to use right here. So if we click on this couch right here, and then we hit the plus button, it's going to add it into the room. And now, if, to move this and to like scale it up and down, you're going to use the option and the control keys. So if we click and hold, and if we hold down the option key and we click on the image and then rotate, that's going to, be rotating the image left and right, or rotating the furniture left and right. So what we'll do is we're going to place
it on a PC, that's going to be the shift button or alt or control button?
That's going to be alt on the PC. And then control is going to, if you click on the image and you hold control down, that's going to, and you go up and down, that's going to make the couch bigger and smaller.
It looks like there's some pretty good tool tips that are popping up along the way too to help you know what buttons to push.
Yeah, they pop up as soon as you start an image. And you'll also see with items that could be put on walls and on shelving, they'll also show the option for shift, which will allow you to adjust the height of the image. And we'll show that in a couple of minutes. So we place the couch here. And now the one thing I do that you want to try to get in the habit with, because if you don't, it may become very frustrating. If you click on an image or click on the furniture that you set in place and you don't want it to like move, you just want to keep it right there. So once it's like highlighted in red, you want to go up to the top right and you'll see this little lock button. That's going to lock it in that spot right there. Now, no matter what, if you click on it and you try to move it, nothing's going to happen. It's just going to stay right there. So that comes in handy when you're trying to place like a couch that might be like behind this, or like a chair that might be behind this couch, like in like the corner of it, and you're going to be trying to adjust the chair, but you're actually moving the couch. I'll show you like what I mean, because like if we go to like a chair here, I'm just going to choose a random chair just for an example really quick, but like, you know, if I try to move this, as soon as I click on it, it's going to start dragging the couch. So if you keep it locked, then you'll be able to click on this and you're good to go.
Nice.
I'm gonna get rid of that chair really quick though. All right, so let me just go back and move this to like right about here.
When you're taking your photos, when you're taking the photos, you recommend a wide angle lens or standard for this? Probably a wide. I got to imagine a real estate photographer's lens. Is that right?
Yeah, a wide angle lens. You want to keep it at around 15 millimeters or a little bit bigger, like you do 16, 18, as long as you're capturing the majority of the room. You want to make sure that you're capturing like as much of the room as possible, so you can show how big it is and fit as much furniture in and make it look like an actual home and not like an empty room. So we'll go here and we're going to lock that down. Now, the next thing you want to do, and this is going to be something that a lot of people ask, how do we get like something like books, like or something like that, like up on these shelves, because they're a little bit higher. So what we're going to do is I'm going to show that really quick. So we do here. So even though there's already shelves there, we can, place these shelves like over top of them. So what we're going to do is we're going to add this one right here. And you can hit the shift key, and that will bring the bookshelf up and down. And you still have the same keys as the other, like the couch did, where you have the control and the option key. So if you hit control and you go up and down, that's going to change the size of it. And you also have the option, which are alt for the PCs, which will allow you to turn the bookshelf. So what we're going to do is, you could see the bottom of this bookshelf is pretty much at like where the height of the actual shelf is. So you want to bring it to like right around there, and then shrink it down in size. So if we go to the width of like the opening right there. Now, if we hit the shift key, we could bring it down right there, and we could shrink it down a little bit more to fit a little bit better in place. Hit the shift key again to drop it down. And something like that, where you can you have books on that shelf. Wow. And it looks a little bit more full. I know it seems very simple, but like it took a while for like to me in the very beginning to figure out that was even possible, because the one thing you want to keep in mind with this software, it's pretty much like a layer process. So if something's brought forward more, it's going to show up on top of things that are a little bit further back. So being that,
so now you want to lock that. You want to lock that down now, right? Yep. Exactly.
So you want to lock that down, that way it doesn't move. And bring that down. So yeah, and what you could do too is if you click on like the bookshelf, we can hit this button up in the top right, which is a clone tool. So if we click this, it will then clone that exact bookshelf, and then we can move that into place too, just holding the shift key and dragging it into place. And then we have two bookshelves right underneath each other, something like that. Now it looks kind of silly because they're both the same bookshelf and they have the same books on and stuff like that. But, it's just to give you guys an example, of that. you do have other bookshelves. Like we could choose this one if we wanted to, or these ones that are a little bit bigger. But I just wanted to show like that it is possible to get things in these higher up places, and you can even put like plants up here, whatever it is. So like I'll just give an example of that too. Like if we wanted to do, let's see.
Yeah, put a big plant up there.
Like maybe trying to think of one that would be good. Surface. Maybe, what if we had like vines hanging down or something? Or actually, yeah, I'll just use this for an example really quick too. Like, so if you wanted to like have like a plant that was like hanging down, just shrink this down in size.
Now, what are you clicking to do that again? You're holding down on what?
So this I'm holding down on the control key, and then it's dragging down, and then I'm just going to click and drag it over to the area, and then we can hit the option key to rotate it a little bit, and you'll see this black bar right here. So this black bar is showing the angle in which like it is facing. So we you want to get this as best as possible lined up to like the angle that you're going to be putting the object on. So being that it's on this angle right here, we match it up, and then you can see like as long as you bring it down in size, fits perfect right there, and it just kind of looks like vines hanging down.
Yeah,
silly, but it's just it's something cool to where you could place objects a little bit higher up and all that. And then you can also change the height by holding the shift key and going up and down. Now, one thing that does happen is if you place the object how I just did, and then hit the shift key, it sometimes does this thing where it locks you. Like I can't bring it up to the same height. So what you have to do is bring it forward and bring it in front of the books. You kind of see how it's like still behind the books here. So you want to bring it in front of those. Just keep dragging it towards like the bottom of the screen, and then you can change the height and keep on going forward here until there we go. Until it's in front of the books again. Change the height, change the size, and it's going to do a lot of like messing around with something like that. But yeah, just an example right there, just to mess around with that. But we'll get back to staging this room. So what I like to do is like in a room like this, we could put a TV right here. So we'll hit the plus button, and you have the any room category, which has a whole bunch of stuff like for decorating a room. And then you'll see the category right here for TV.
You could search up top for TV. Just type in TV, and it would bring it up.
Yeah, you could type in TV, and I usually just like to go into the whole category, and that way you could just kind of see everything right there. Because the one thing that I messed up a lot with here is if you type in TV and then switch to a different category, it's going to show like nothing, and then you're kind of like going back and forth between deleting what's in the search bar and going through the different categories. So I just like to use the category panel right on the left-hand side. It's just TVs. Click on that, and then choose the one you want to use. Something like this, we'll choose like this TV right here. Hit the plus button, and you just want to drag this into place. So we'll use the option key to rotate it. Hit the control key and the shift key. And you just want to make sure that you get it into position. And it does that sometimes too. If you go past the screen when you're clicked on the image or clicked on the object, it will and you go to move it again, it will sometimes like launch it into the back because it's like still clicked on. So let's move it into place right here. Change this, make it a little bigger.
While you're doing that, we've got people that are asking to go back to the flare at some point before the show's over, just to show how you would finalize that. So we can definitely do that.
Okay.
Let's see here. The return time on furniture removal, I think it's 24 to 48 hours, isn't it?
It was 12 to 36. I think you said.
12 to 36. Yeah, good to see you, Carlos. All right, and we've got going over the flares. We will cover that. A couple people asking to see the flare after you finish staging this room. Will we be able to work around a little different? Our height floats between 38 and 44 inches. We'll be able to hack around this or cheat around the height difference. I think it will work with any ceiling height, or I do believe it'll work with any ceiling height, won't it?
Yeah, so the only thing you want to mess around with is you'll have the option to, if you click these arrow keys right here, you can recalibrate the image if you see that it's kind of looking a little weird. So, and we'll get into this panel once we finish up here and all. But so
okay.
If you like you saw how I originally put it up at the top, and then it was giving me an option, like it was saying how it wasn't at the right height. It was like only like 2 feet off the ground, and obviously we're higher up than 2 feet off the ground. So I brought it down to like on top of the windows here, to the very top part of the windows, and then I brought it to around the 4 foot mark. And then you can adjust the height with the plus and minus keys. But yeah, any ceiling height you can do. As long as you calibrate it properly. And if
you always want it to be, you always want it to be at 4 feet to 6, 4.5 feet when you're done, right? That was the optimal.
So 4.5 feet to like I would say 5 feet would be the best optimal like position. Yeah.
Okay.
And like in the software, like I think they have it as 5 feet is like the best like optimal position. And then yes, I'm just gonna place like a chair here. You know, just and you could see like you want to bring it past like where the couch is. So like if you because it's like a layer software, if you don't bring it far enough back, it's obviously going to be showing like, you know, the couch is kind of like the couch is covering the chair. So bring it far enough back and make it look good. And I'm just going to clone this. We'll put a second one right over here. Use the option key to rotate it around. And to resize it. And the one thing you want to keep in mind too is making it look realistic in the way of how, you know, when furniture is further away, it's going to be smaller, obviously, because there is people that, you know, I've seen like on Zillow and stuff that try to do virtual staging, and like an image that is like 15, 20 feet away, like a piece of furniture that's 15, 20 feet away is just as big as something that's right up close to the camera. And obviously that's not the case. So you want to make sure that you're resizing the furniture to look right. So we're going to click. Oh, didn't lock that down. Gotta lock that down. And so we'll go back to the furniture, and we'll choose like an end table or something. So we'll go here. And let's see, something that'll look decent. And you want to try to keep everything looking the same. You know, this is like, you know, when you're staging a room, if you want to have it where, like, you know, it's all like a white theme or like a more contemporary, more traditional, all that type of stuff. So you want to try to keep that furniture looking the same. You don't want to be mixing and matching something.
So I guess Carlos wasn't talking about the calibration height. He was talking about the actual physical tripod height. So, and I think that as long as you take the original photographs at 4.5 feet to 5 feet, you're fine. Is that right?
Yes. Yep.
Is there a magic number there?
I usually tell people like 5 feet, 4.5 feet to 5 feet. That's like the magic number of like getting the exact height. Yep.
If he's got some tripods that only go up to 38 inches, that's going to be like just over 3 feet, and that's not going to be high enough.
Exactly. Yeah. You want to
38 to 44 inch. Yeah. A 44-inch tripod is going to be what, 3.5 feet. So you need taller tripods, I would say, right? You need a
Yeah,
little higher
exactly.
than that. Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
you definitely want to hit that mark of 4.5 feet to 5 feet. Because anything lower than that is going to make it, the software is going to have a hard time adjusting the furniture to fit properly and look right in the room. It's going to be like slanted looking, trying to like fix itself. So, and the one thing that a lot of people don't know is the fireplace. You can actually, there's a category here. If you go to the catalog, go to any room, and you got fire right here. And then we can put some fire in there. So something like, do something like this. And you can take that, rotate it around to, the right angle that is in there, and you can adjust. This one has the shift button, so you can adjust this up and down. So if there is a fireplace that's a little bit higher, you can put that, the fire in that still, or a little bit lower, whatever it is. And then we'll just bring it right over here and adjust the size.
That's great.
Just to make it a little bit, make it look a little bit more like a home that's actually being used. All right, so then the same thing, we got the fireplace, like the shelf right here. And you might want to put something up here, or maybe a painting right up here, like above it. So what you could do is, if we go to like art, you choose something, like let's say something like this.
Looks like.
So we could bring it forward into the position that you want to put it. Hit the shift key, and then you can resize it. Bring it into place, make it a little bit bigger.
Wow, that looks great.
Change the angle. Something like that. And now paintings you sometimes have to mess around with, because even though that black bar down at the bottom, you usually want to have that lined up like, evenly with the angle of the wall that you're putting the object on. You'll see that if we were to match that angle exactly, it sometimes looks a little odd, like it's, facing a little weird, like it's coming out like on the side a little bit. So what I like to do is sometimes face it a little bit more like inward from the direction that it's supposed to be facing, and then it looks a little bit more right sometimes. So like something like that. It looks a little bit more even up at the top. It's a little down on the bottom, but yeah, just mess around with paintings because sometimes they're a little bit trickier. But yeah, you can see that this is a pretty high up painting, not like a typical height that you would put anything down here and like the book shelving and stuff. So you could put objects pretty high up as long as you bring them far enough forward, resize them, and just mess around with them to get them to exactly how you want. And then what we'll do is we'll put something on the shelf right there. So maybe something I like to go to is the collection. It has like a whole bunch of things that would go onto tables and stuff like that. So like just photo and that. So we'll choose
They've
that.
added a lot of stuff over the years. They keep adding new stuff all the time. It seems like I get little notices, and there really is a lot to choose from. When this first came out, there was very limited styles and furniture, and there is an abundance of furniture at this point.
Yeah, it's constantly getting updated. Like the art, didn't mean to click on that, sorry. The art category is always having stuff get added into here. There is so much, it's insane. From every, like you even have, like if we go towards the bottom where like, some of the newest stuff is, they have like kids stuff, they have stuff for like, when it's like a beach theme, just about everything. They even added the new thing, I think it was the maps. They added like city maps. Down at the bottom, it's like something like this, but really cool stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like as you see, we placed like an object on the shelf right here. And just
are there curtains? Deborah Sue wants to know. Hi, Deborah Sue. Good to see you on the show. Are there curtains that we can add?
Yes. So
oh, wow.
the one thing you want to notice that I'll go over is so there's even curtain rods, and it took me a little bit time to figure out where they were. I think it was under decorative. No, sorry. Where was it? Because there's window curtain category, but they don't have the curtain rod in here for some reason. So like they have all these curtains though that you could put in here. Where was it? I'm sorry. Other under. Oh no, sorry. Decorative surface. That's where it was. So you have the like the rods right here.
Ah, so decorative surface is where you're gonna. Somebody needs to write that down, and I'll tell them to put that under curtains.
Yeah.
Put it under curtains, for goodness sakes.
So, it shows like this one right here. Then you can take this, adjust the angle, size, and height, and you can put it over top of the window here. And you want to mess around with the angle of that too to make sure it's like lined up properly with the window.
Yeah.
Go back and go to window curtain, and let's choose like this one right here. Goes with another room. Bring it over, and curtains are the same type of things as paintings where you want to mess with the angle, because you'll see sometimes this is actually going to work out pretty well probably. So, but like the angles may be a little weird where you want to mess around like with the way that's facing the camera, like how we did with the painting up here. But this one worked out pretty well. And one thing you also want to pay attention to is because it's a layered type of software where things that are further closer to the camera are going to show up above the things that are further back. You want to make sure that the curtain is further back than the thing like this couch. Because if we brought it forward, to like right here and resized it down, trying to get it like in front of the couch. Of course, it's not going to work for me right there. We go. So like, something like this, where it's like over top of the couch, you want to make sure that it's further back where it's going to show up behind the couch.
That looks pretty good.
I'll resize this. Kind of messed that up, bringing it so close to the camera.
Yeah, it looks good though.
Yeah, I'm just
had it earlier.
Yeah, let's go back to it. So don't be afraid to delete things too if you need to. And I'm not sure if I went over that, but yeah, deleting something.
What did you do to delete? You just press the delete.
Yeah, so you click on the object you want to delete. Make sure you're not clicking on anything else, just the object you want to delete. And then there's the delete button, a little trash can right up here on the top right.
Can curtain rods be shortened?
Yeah, you could, resize this to, smaller, like how it is right here. So
okay.
If like I, do something like that, like if
perfect.
you're doing a bathroom or something. Yep. Yeah, ask questions away if you guys have anything, because I try to cover everything as much as possible.
Is there a way to add any shadows to the furniture? I don't think so. Is there?
Actually, the furniture has shadows of its own. So like, so if we like take this chair,
I see the shadows under there. Yeah, I can see it under there.
You can't change them though. That's like just how they are.
Yep.
So like if you were trying to, I know like one time I wasn't paying attention to the shadow of a bed and a lamp, and it was casting a shadow onto the window like outside, and it didn't look like realistic, so I had to get rid of that. So you want to pay attention to some of the shadows, because they're like almost like a neutral shadow, like where it's not coming from any certain direction. That way it's like able to go in any room.
And then Les is asking if there's an open cookbook for the staging the kitchens, and I would have to guess that there probably might be in the library.
Yeah, so there is a whole bunch of stuff. So if we go to like kitchen, it's just going throughout all these categories.
Countertop item probably. Countertop item, maybe cookbook. Wow, look at all that stuff. Jeepers.
There's
got to
so
be a
much.
cookbook somewhere in here. You got pasta, you got dried rice, you got everything. It's great.
No, it's actually all of it. So there may not be an open cookbook. But there is a
We've
decent
also
amount.
got, let's see here. If the large image is required, why do we want? Why does the final product download at 1500? I would say that that's just kind of a rule of thumb to use larger. You probably could get away with uploading a 1500 or 1000 pixel tall image, but higher the better. With our Fusion Virtual Tour system, we recommend that you upload minimally 1500 pixels tall into our system because we're going to resize it. And the fact that they're putting furniture and stuff in and then it's going to get resized and processed and mashed into one final image, higher the better, within reason.
Yeah. And,
is there
the one thing I was going to say is with the images that like aren't that high of a resolution, when you're putting like the resolution of the furniture here is pretty high end, like I would say, when it comes to virtual staging. So when you're using an image that isn't as high as a resolution, it kind of looks odd. Like if I was to put furniture into a room that looked like that quality right there, where it's really fuzzy, and I put furniture in there, the furniture is going to look at a higher resolution than the actual image, and it's just not going to look right.
Yep. Yeah, that makes sense. Very good. And then is, let's see, after creating and staging a scene, how can I change the property detail information if something's not correct to the flare info?
Let's see. Edit scene
So after
details.
creating and staging a scene, how can I change the property detail information if something is not correct? Oh, so the flare info is accurate. There's a lot of questions popping in here, so my little dialog box is bouncing up and down.
Yeah, so that you'll be able to yeah. What was that?
Go ahead.
I was just going to say, edit scene details. You can do that there. But what was the other question you said?
Removing the watermark. We've got Kevin wants to know how you doing, Kevin. Hey, good to. I think you're the Kevin Coleman I know, but maybe not. Kevin wants to know about how to remove the logo when you're done with this. We kind of covered that a little bit in the beginning, but
Yep.
that's under the final stage, right?
Yeah. So after
remove
you're
watermark
done
right there.
Remove watermark right here. It's 1 credit to do that. And the good thing is that it doesn't, so like if I was to come back into here, like after removing the watermark and I download that non-watermark image and I had to change anything, I don't have to buy that remove watermark again. It stays with this image right here. So you could come in, you could change anything, and then you can hit download and it will download the non-watermark image again.
That's great. That's great.
Yeah. What other questions you got?
So Scott says, I have a trial account. Do not have any furniture collections available. Will that change when I purchase the subscription? How often do you add new furniture and new collections? So Scott, you create your own furniture collection. So if you found like, wow, I really love this, how these 6 pieces work together, you can create a collection. Do you want to show us how to create a collection? Like, how would you create a collection with what you have right now in this room? I think it's right up there, right?
Yeah, it was. They've been changing some things around.
So you can save all of this stuff as a collection so that with the, literally with a click of a mouse, you're going to be able to import everything into that room as a collection.
Where did they put it? It used to be a button right up here. Jason, I think I'm not totally sure right now.
Yeah, I think it used to be up top as well.
Yeah.
All right. Well, while you're looking at that, I will find another question here while you're looking at how to make a collection. I'm sure that that's an easy one. Can it integrate with Easy MLS? No. There is no way to. At RTV, we have a real easy way for you to pull in MLS details into your virtual tour. You just punch in the MLS number and push a button, and it brings it all in. This does not have that. I apologize. So Vincent will be covering what a flare is here, or showing how to stage a flare that he created and sent to himself. And Sharon asked, is there a way to use the ruler? Is there a way to use the ruler? And I'm not really sure what that means, but I think, there you go. I bet you had to save that first before you can save the collection.
Yeah, I saved it. I don't see the collection button anymore, though.
What is the, how about the drop down in the bottom right? What does that down arrow do?
Bottom right?
What's the
just
plus do in the upper right? Oh, okay.
That's the furniture. It used to be like right up here.
Yeah, add to collection. I know. I remember it. Well, that could be a bug that we just found in the software team.
This is something that like I noticed too, is like I don't remember like over the past couple of days, like this big gap right here didn't used to be like that. And I think that was like with an update and stuff. And I emailed Prague about it because like I remember the image used to like take up this entire area, you know. But yeah, I think they've been doing updates, and that might be an issue that they have right now. Because yeah, it used to be right up here.
Well, we will email on that, because you used to be able to put all your scenes in and then just hit add to collection, and then it saves in your collection. So it is pretty easy.
Yeah.
The watermark cannot be resized. You cannot change wall color at this time, but I believe that Prague may be possibly thinking about that down the road, similar to Chameleon. But I can't speak for everything that he's working on. Trial account, Vincent, just go to Real Tour Vision and click products and services and go to virtual house staging and get yourself a trial account for the stager. It's real simple.
Wait, really quick, I want to
go ahead.
I just want to say, like, this is one question I get a lot too, is when it comes to outdoor stuff, you like outdoor stuff, they have like you know, benches, tables, end tables, and all stuff like that, and they don't really cover like plants, even though like you could go to any room, and if you were to do like floor, these things are all like potted. So like if you're trying to stage an outside area, keep that in mind, that you don't have like bushes or anything like that could be put into the ground. I'm hoping that's something that they add down the road, because like I get asked about that a lot. So these things are all potted plants. But
yeah, that's where I think you start running into, you know, if you can't pick it up and carry it back with you, that's where I think that it becomes a, wait, there was a tree here. There was a bush here. You took the bush from the house I just bought. No, it was a virtual bush. Sorry. All right, so Mark Harris, how you doing, Mark? Mark says, if you took the image at 5 feet, do you still want to calibrate it at 4'6" optimal, or should you match the height you actually took it? Good question, Mark.
It will actually match. It will usually do a pretty good job at matching that height. So it's if you take it at 5 foot, you can match it at 5 foot. But if you saw how like this room, you know, it seems like they might have taken it like around the 4 foot mark, 3.5 foot mark, we could adjust it a little bit then, just so it's like fitted optimally with the stager.
So 15 millimeter. So Thomas is saying 15 millimeter lens on a full frame or crop frame sensor.
Yep.
That must have been a question that was asked on the optimal lens to use for photographing for staging. And I would.
I would say the widest you want to go is like 15 millimeters. Any more than that, you're going to get some major distortion going on. Even with the calibration and stuff, you're going to see that it would still kind of be a little off. So 15 millimeters, I would say, is like going to be the widest you want to do it at. You can maybe stretch it to 14 if you need to, but I would say around the 16 millimeter mark.
Okay. And Scott came back and said, no, he found that a collection is saved automatically when you save the scene. Look in the collections section. So that is something to take a look at. I would find that I know that they used to allow you to save in a specific collection. I don't think I would want it saving every single room I did, but maybe.
Yeah. That's a little odd. Did you said you want me to go over the flare, right?
Yeah. So, Deborah Sue says, is that 15 millimeter full frame or crop sensor?
Probably 15. You could do with a full frame with crop sensor. I would say 12 millimeters with the crop, right around there. Because if you start getting into the 10, 12 range, then you're going to start getting some distortion. So I would say at the with the crop sensor, yeah, keep it around the 12 range, yeah.
And then Mir says, is it possible to stage a 360 pano? I know he was working on that about a year ago when I spoke with him, and it's not in yet, but I think he's pretty close. I'm really looking forward to that update because that'll really integrate nicely with our 360 system very nicely. So, okay, so yeah, let's check out that flare that you did. Did you, oh, you're publishing that room as a flare?
Yeah, I was trying to. It says that the flare URL is already taken, so.
Then just use your tour name, right? It just uses your. You could go back to that one room that you had before.
Yeah, go back to that.
Yeah, that's fine. You go back to that one room that you had before because you put 3 or 4 things into that room and then you bounced over to this. So if you want to go to that, yeah, I think it was image 2187, wasn't it? Oh, you're out of credits?
Yeah, I went through a couple hundred the past couple days. I think it was this one. Yeah, so you gotta do a new scene. So we'll just do the vertical alignment.
So this is the one where you sent it to a realtor, aka yourself, right? This
Yep.
is and then you put some stuff in it. And so how do we see? Okay, so you gotta calibrate it first.
Yep. Yeah, I just gotta do it real quick.
And then, yep, and then the go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say, yeah, so once you're done doing the straightening, the calibration, then you could stage it. You'll see there will be the option for the flare. Once this loads up, here we go. Okay, so this is another image that the person that took this photo I was talking to. It was a photographer that isn't really, doesn't do real estate photography every day. So I was going over like the steps on how to take it, like the photo, and it didn't really follow instructions, but we'll make it work.
They might be on the show. They might be on the show today. Curses, Tom Feast. Curses, Tom Feast. I can't even believe you're talking. But we won't mention any names.
No.
That's funny. All right, so you go through the calibration. Now here again, we have this optimal camera height here. So
yep.
Explain that one more time because I think we lost some people on that last time.
Yeah, so once it's aligned right here, you could see how it pretty much picked up the height. I think it says 4.5 feet. So that's like the height that the camera was taking the image at. If for some reason it's not picking up the exact height, you can then adjust the height by the plus and minus buttons to make it the way you need to.
Robert Harvey, how you doing, Robert? Thanks for coming to the show. Uses our tour system there, and he says tie a 5-foot string to the bottom of your camera.
There you go.
You'll always know. You'll always know. All right. So wait. Yeah. Now, did it just pull in these pieces? Now, okay. So you're going to do the flare, importing.
Yeah, it's supposed to. I don't know why I didn't do it because it may. I did go into the image earlier today, so I'm wondering if it didn't pick up. But if we go back here, one flare available. Why is it doing this? Typically, it will have the option for you to choose the. Oh, here we go. Okay. URL. And let me just grab that URL one more time. Just give me 1 second here. What other questions you got while we're waiting for this to load up?
Yeah, so, okay, we've got some thank yous, a lot of thank yous. Is there a list of MLS restrictions? I just lost it because the list of questions moved. Sorry. Every time somebody posts something, the whole list jumps, and I just lost that question in the sea of questions. Yeah, is there a list of MLS restrictions and rules per MLS somewhere? I don't think so, Carlos, but that is a good question. I think the best thing to do is call your MLS and let them know that you are doing virtual staging. That's what we did at Blue Lava Media. We reached out to our local MLS board. We said that we are doing virtual staging and asked them if they had any problems with us putting virtually staged images into our virtual tour productions. And they said no, as long as we said virtually staged living room, virtually staged master bedroom. So that's what we do. We just name it that, and it is that. But great question. Let's see here. I've had trouble with vaulted ceilings whenever I try anything hanging, like a hanging lamp or plant. How do I get it to go up to the ceiling? And if it's part of a set, it's not possible? Question mark. Deborah Sue, you might have come in a little late. He showed us how to do some really tall images earlier, but we can maybe try something here in a minute, like a hanging plant. Did it pull it in? Is it pulling it in from what you did earlier?
It's not allowing me to click on the button to get the URL right now. I was having this issue earlier trying to get the image saved, because right now it's not saying that it's a saved image. It's saved flare, even though it is. This may be something that we have to add at a later time, because I need to grab that URL. Let me see if it allows me to pull it from here, but I don't think so.
Yep.
Try that. Give it a shot. Hey, there we go. Cool. Import.
Yay. All right.
So you could see, like, I'm sure people that came in later in the webinar didn't get to see what we.
This kind of ties the whole show together, because in the beginning, and you didn't finish this off, and I know why, because you wanted to show us how to stage first, but these were all the pieces that the real estate agent, who was yourself, chose to be in this room.
Yeah, I just had to delete some stuff because I doubled up on them in the past. But yeah, once you hit import with that URL, all the images show up here. Then you just go around and you resize them. And this was the I just want to cover again. This was the 2D collaborative that we did. It was not the 3D interactive. It was the 2D collaborative, which allowed the agent to choose the 2D images that they wanted, the furniture in the room. They chose them, saved them, and then we import them, and then we could just change them around to to the way that we need to.
Megan Morgan, hi Megan. Megan says that some furniture is only available in sets, but not as standalone. I don't know the answer to that. I know that they're always adding more furniture. They do a great job of continually adding furniture. But is that true there, Tom, that some of it is only available in sets?
Yeah, when it comes to couches and like bed sets and stuff like that, you'll notice that there is some things that are only available in the sets and not in the single items. And and also some of them are not in the same category. So like I think it was, for example, there were some things. Give me 1 second here. In I think it was like the living room. And if you go to the set, like there were some objects like that aren't falling under like the same categories like living room, obviously, like you'll have to go into other categories, like for the lighting. So if you go to like any room and then lighting, then you'll find, the lamps and stuff in here that you can bring back over. I noticed that because like there was like this lamp that was on a end table in the living room, and obviously the living room section does not have a lighting section, so you have to go back and forth kind of to like match some things up. But there is some things that are in the set, like with the living room and the bedrooms and stuff, that are not available in the catalog, like any other items, like singularly.
That's great.
But yeah, so like as you can see, then this was the some of the furniture that we added, from the flare. And then once we're done with it, save, download, remove watermark, whatever you have to do, and then you can send it to the client, and you're all done.
Beautiful. Well, we are 22 minutes overdue here, gang, and I know a ton of questions I did not get back to, but you can feel free to email in or reach out to Tom directly for anything that you've got. It's been a great show. I think we really tied a lot of things up here today on the show. We will be, this will be the video that everybody gets to watch when they sign up for the staging software and play around with it. Hopefully it makes for a nice tutorial and gets everyone started. It really is pretty easy to use. Tom is always there. And I encourage everybody to check out the RTV virtual tour software to put your finished products in, and it's $12 a production to make a virtual tour on our system. We let you put up to 5 minutes of video in every tour and up to 100 HD images. It is an image delivery engine used by professional photographers, aerial drone pilots, and more. So I want to thank everybody for coming to the show tonight. And if I didn't get to your question, email in. There's like 5 pages of questions. So, Tom, you might get a flood of questions. Why don't you show them one more time how to get to the Stagiair link and create a demo account, and then how to reach your website.
Okay, yeah. So if we are on the homepage of the RTV website, if you go under products and services, virtual home staging, scroll down, then you can click the link for do it yourself, and that will allow you to create the account yourself. Or you can also go to, if you are an RTV member, you can do it under, if you're on the dashboard, left-hand side, and virtual staging right here. If you are looking to hire me to stage the photos for you, I charge $35 per image, and you can go to the RTV website, click on Sharp Eye Visuals right here, which will bring you to my website.
Beautiful.
And I have this nice little interactive, thing where you can do that.
Oh, that's pretty cool.
You could book the appointment right here, or you can contact me directly. Yeah, that's it. The one thing I did want to say, and Jason, I'll talk to you about this and see how we could do it. Maybe we can do a giveaway with the people that were here today, that signed up for the webinar. See what you think about that, and maybe do 5 free images or something for virtual staging. Be something that we can talk about in the Facebook group. So everyone go RTV on Facebook.
Yeah, be sure to like us on Facebook, and for any existing RTV customers, we might be able to run some kind of a contest. We'll have to work out the details of that. But thank you all so much for coming tonight, and it's been a pleasure. If you have questions for me regarding how we do things over at Blue Lava Media and what we charge the local real estate agents, we only service the Traverse City market, so we're not your competitor in any capacity, unless you're in Traverse City. But we do offer affordable and professional real estate photography. We put everything we do through the RTV tour system, and it really, that's how we stand out locally. So we stand out by doing, I don't know what that was. I'll have to have Tyler look at my website. But if you want to look at some of our tours.bluelavamedia.com, you can see some of the stuff that we've done recently. This is the RTV tour gallery. We do just over 1,000 real estate productions a year and about 250 aerial drone operations and growing. And we put everything through the RTV system. So it's a great way to stand out. This is a production here. This is what it looks like. Comes up, it brands us here. It brands us. It is a private labeled system. It brands us in our name, and it brands us down here. We get about 200 clicks a month. In the busy season, people click our logo and they go right to the Blue Lava Media landing page, telling them why they need professional photography and our powerful marketing tools. So we always say professional photography with a marketing punch. So check out Blue Lava Media, check out Real Tour Vision, and we would love to have you on the Fusion system. And I'm sure a lot of you are going to have some questions for Tom. So thanks a lot. Appreciate you sticking with us for an hour and a half. That's one of the longest shows we've ever done here at RTV. So we try and keep them down to an hour, but this was a good training session. So thanks a lot, everybody. Go have a great night. Thank you, Tom. Thanks, everybody, for Tom Feast for joining us this evening. Tom, blue skies and happy droning and happy touring. And we'll see you soon. Thanks a lot.
Yeah, thank you for having me. Bye, everyone.
You bet. Thanks a lot. Bye, everyone.